This is the Stripsack Dualcast. I'm the Hawk.
And I'm the Fat Man. Before we get started, we're going to post a link up here somewhere throughout the show. If y'all can go buy some Girl Scout cookies off the little Fat Man, it'd be greatly appreciated. She's trying to. She's got about 210 boxes to go, so don't be shy. Go on there, order some cookies. Everyone loves cookies. All right, let's talk some football, man.
All right, so we got a bunch of stuff for you. It's been a while. The games already went past. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Nothing too in depth. And then we got a lot of off-season things that we're going to talk about, which is going to be fun. But up first, Bucks 31, Packers 26. We all saw the fucking game, all right? And if you're a Packers fan, I just got to let you guys know that it wasn't the refs. The big key in this game was the 3 turnovers from Tom Brady, and y'all only getting 6 points out of them.
It was the refs. Shut the fuck up. They let them play all game. They're tugging on the Packers fucking receivers the whole game, not calling shit. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 minutes of the game, they want to call it. It's bullshit. If you ain't going to call it, you don't call it. You don't call it all game. That's fine. Look, there's holding on every play. 95% of it doesn't get called. You could probably call a penalty on every play. Some of the helmets they call are bullshit. It was bullshit. Don't think the Packers were going to win. What happened?
You got more crying you're going to do?
Yeah, I don't think the Packers would have won anyway. But that was bullshit. And anybody who says it wasn't bullshit is wrong.
Listen.
You're wrong.
If you're the Packers, don't go down 28-10 with 14 minutes to go in the third fucking quarter. Don't do it. All right?
Oh, they're getting off the whole game.
Play football from start to finish. That was the biggest key. They had their chances at the end of the game, and they blew it. They did not execute their game. All right? Aaron Rodgers had 3 opportunities off of 3 Tom Brady picks, and he went 3 and out twice.
So Dana White always says it. Don't leave it up to the judges. Right? Finish the guy. So I get it. You can't really rag the refs for whatever. They lost the fucking game. Game over. I'm not a Packers fan anyway. I don't really fucking have a dog in the fight. It just adds to the fucking greatness of Tom Brady. It adds to that storyline.
Which brings up the topic. Brady is the GOAT. All right? The conversation's over with, guys. 10th Super Bowl. All right? 10th Super Bowl. He's already got 6 of them. He lost 3. He's got 2 on 2 different teams. The conversation's done.
Yeah, I can't even argue anymore. I can't argue that Brady isn't the GOAT because all the shit he's done. He's had a stellar career. And the thing about Brady, and I didn't realize it until I was just talking to a friend who went over his house for dinner, is the thing with Brady is it's hard to hate greatness, right? And people rag on him, like especially AFC guys who were fans in the AFC East. They're sick of Tom Brady, blah, 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 blah. The thing that I think everybody can appreciate about Tom Brady is how hard the guy has worked. He wasn't a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He wasn't handed the starting job at Michigan. He was I'm explaining the bullshit right now. He was a backup throughout his whole college career. Even once he did get his chance to start, he was splitting snaps, playing halftime. He's a 7th-round draft pick, scrawny kid, not the biggest arm. Fucking ran a 5.6 40 at the combine or whatever the fuck it was. By all accounts, this guy should have been forgotten about. So it just shows how hard he worked at his craft to be where he is, and I think you have to appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's my thoughts exactly. I've watched Tom Brady's entire career, and honestly,
don't worry, I'm right here. I'm right here, still doubting the Chiefs.
I did not. I picked the Chiefs. So I don't want to hear that shit. But anyways, I watched the guy's entire career, and I'm pretty thankful that I finally got to witness, a career like that. I missed the Jordan era. I ended up missing Montana. I got to watch Peyton and Brady though, and what he's done throughout his career we're never going to see again. And I'm happy to have witnessed it. But moving on to the guy on the other side, what do you think this leaves Rodgers' legacy? Like, where's his legacy at?
The guy that never could. You know, unfortunately, he has the same stigma now that Andy Reid had coming out of Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's true.
He can't get you there.
You know, Rodgers now falls 1-4 in championship games, and only having one Super Bowl. But the guy is incredible in the regular season. He's going to win his third MVP. You know, we talked about it already. You know, the only guy in NFL history to throw for 40 and under 10 interceptions in a season, which is incredible. You know, it is what it is. But the thing is in the postseason, he falls short. You know, his only win is against Caleb Haney. You know, he lost to Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. Only having one Super Bowl, but the guy's incredible. You know, so it kind of sucks. But I will say there's no question in my mind that he is still one of the most talented players we'll ever watch.
Oh, absolutely. He's a stud, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny that he's great at what he does, and I don't think you could put this whole loss on him because he played a good game. The defense couldn't stop Tom Brady, and the Buccaneers defense showed up. Like, the Buccaneers defense has played this entire playoff run like they did weeks 1 through 6. So you got to give the credit where it's due. The unfortunate thing for Aaron Rodgers is he's the guy who always gets there and can't win the big game.
Yep.
I wasn't exactly done talking about the Brady bullshit either before we moved on to Aaron Rodgers, by the way.
Well, do you want to keep talking about the Brady bullshit? You know, I'm not sure if Harry's still in here, but if he's in here.
The other thing with Brady is, and I get it, Harry's upset about it because he's a Niners fan, so Joe Montana will always be his god. It's just crazy to think that this guy has played in a championship game in 3 different decades. And then I see shit like, I want to hate Tom Brady more than anybody. And then I see videos of him, you know, he wins the game. He calls his kid down out of the stands. First person he wants to talk to after the game is his son, and he's all happy, you know. And then you see the shit out on the field with Drew Brees' kids chucking the ball around. It's just, God, I want to hate him so bad.
All right. Before we go, you know, Anthony here, Fat Man needs a fat lip. Throw one in. All right. So you got like a trademark here.
The old Dipperooski, the old Copenhagen mint lipper.
All right. Another one. Montana's stats in postseason is untouchable by far. If you're talking about his 11 touchdowns, 0 picks run, that was actually beat or tied by Joe Flacco, if I'm not mistaken, of all people. But Tom Brady, 33 playoff wins. That's untouchable.
The other thing is, you know, everybody's going to use the argument for Montana that they use for Jordan. Jordan was 6-0 in championships. Montana was 4-0 in championships. That's the argument everyone's going to use. Okay, sorry, man. And I hate to admit it, Tom Brady's the GOAT. You know, if I could follow the shit, and I was talking a lot of shit leading up to last week's game, if I could sit here and eat a big old plate full of shit and say Brady's the GOAT, I think some other people need to share the shit sandwich with me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's move on. We kind of missed this. It was kind of going on crazy over Monday and Tuesday, and I kind of wish we got to cover it because it was already put to rest. But Rodgers' comments after the game, you know, made a lot of Packers fans and a lot of people in the media question whether or not he was going to come back next year. All right, and we already said the interview. The Packers organization came out and said we're not idiots. You know, we saw. I don't know how many of you guys watched the McAfee show, but I saw the McAfee show, and we saw his interview, and he's just basically saying that nothing's absolute. But I still want to have a little bit of fun with it. All right. Rodgers leaving the Packers. What do you got?
I mean, San Francisco's is the obvious choice, isn't it?
I mean, sure. Because, favorite team going up. No, here's why I think it's interesting. If you guys watched Brett Favre play and watched the end of his career dying out in Green Bay, there was always a stigma at the end of the season. It was like, oh man, is he going to retire? Is he going to retire? Is he going to retire? And he'd say, hey, I'm going to retire. And we would never know what the hell's going on. And then like a week before the season starts, hey, I'm here, guys. And then lights up the field, Well, the Packers organization went out and drafted Aaron Rodgers. They were done with that shit. They're like, oh man, he's going to retire, And they had enough of it after 3 years. And, we all know what happened. Favre ended up going to the Jets, then eventually going to the Vikings. Still was pretty much successful until his very last season. I think that there's a potential that this might happen with Rodgers. Not necessarily this offseason or maybe even the next, but maybe the following.
So the whole reason that all this shit started was Aaron Rodgers' body language and what he said after they just lost the NFC Championship game. This is just another example of how the media overhypes everything, right? The guy was upset. He just lost a fucking major game. It's another time he got, this close to being in the Super Bowl. And like I said, now is going to live with the stigma of the guy that never could. Obviously, he's upset. This is the same reason why you shouldn't interview. I don't know how many guys watch UFC or anything, but this also comes down to the same reason why you shouldn't interview guys after they get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, he just got knocked the fuck out. Like, pretty much.
Yeah, in his own words.
You want to shove a microphone in his face. The guy's butthurt. He's sad. He's going to say some fucked up shit.
In his own words, he had to go and do this interview after 15 minutes of crying in the locker room with the guys that he fought all year to get to the spot that he was in. That's his own words. And he was just being real and honest about it. Things in the NFL aren't guaranteed. And obviously the media took it, ran with it, and, just is what it is.
Well, and as a leader, he just threw his name in there not to put anybody under the bus. That's why I said even mine. Like, he was really talking about the guys whose contracts are up and are going to be leaving. Like the Aaron Joneses of the world.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, these guys aren't going to be back next year, and he just spent the last 3 or 4 years fighting with this guy in the locker room, on the practice field, on the field every weekend. And, a lot of these guys are going to be gone next year. You're going to probably see a different team. Yeah, I get it. You're losing your buddy. It's like when I moved away on you. You're losing your buddy,
Yes. Here we go. Comment. I don't see Rodgers going to San Francisco. Stafford is cheaper than Jimmy.
Let's talk about Stafford a little bit later. Make him watch the whole show because I have some opinions on Stafford myself.
The potential of Rodgers going there this year would be more likely if, say, he did want to go for a trade than future down the road. Because I really feel like this is the offseason we're going to see San Francisco make a move.
What about Aaron Rodgers to Houston for Deshaun Watson?
I'm doing that. Did Rodgers get them there or did Adams? Comment from Anthony. Anthony, I definitely feel like Rodgers got him there. And
I think the part you're missing in that is Devontae Adams is only as good as the guy throwing him the football.
One other thing is I have to also say that they really had a favorable schedule this year. They only had to play 4 teams going into the playoffs with winning records. They had a pretty damn cake schedule.
But yeah, you forget one small fact. The Packers are there every year. Like, when was the last time the Packers sucked? So you could talk about their schedule all you want. When was the last time?
3 years ago. 3 years ago, they sucked.
And before that?
5 years ago.
I mean, they're in the playoffs every year.
Yes.
So when you're a perennial playoff team, you can't sit here and fucking yap about the schedule. Now, if it's somebody like, Miami gets in that hasn't been there in fucking 10 years, well, then, yeah, you can go ahead and say, well, they had a weak-ass schedule.
All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about the second game.
Here you go,
Bills,
Anthony. This is for you, bud.
yeah, Bills 24, Chiefs 38. I'm just going to sum up this game real quick. I felt like a lot of people doubted the Chiefs offense, right? And the Chiefs offense showed the fuck up again. That's my take on it.
I don't think I doubted the offense because
I
let's be
wasn't saying
honest.
you specifically. I'm just saying
They
like
can,
others.
right. Let's be honest. They can strike from anywhere. But the thing I questioned was, their defense being able to slow down Josh Allen, which they did.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that nobody was smart enough to stomp on Patrick Mahomes' turf toe that everyone was so worried about. You got to stomp that shit. But yeah, good for the Chiefs. They go to 2 in a row. Yeehaw. Andy Reid, we can crown him a king now. Another fellow fat man. Let's give him his crown. Let's take him to the buffet.
I mean, let's call it what it is. Like right now, Andy Reid's giving himself an argument for one of the greatest of all time. I think he's one of the greatest offensive minds already, but he's given himself a really good argument.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Is this the best start to a quarterback or an NFL football player for Patrick Mahomes?
It's hard to say it's not.
I mean, I think that it is, honestly. He's already got an MVP, a Super Bowl championship, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 3 AFC championship appearances, 2-1 in those games. The guy's over 100 touchdown passes in 3 years. He's the quickest person ever to 100. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
is this the best start ever?
He has, and he's got an MVP, and this is his 2nd Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to say it's not the best start to a career.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't know how many yards Diggs had. I do know that Diggs showed some class and stayed out there on the field and watched the Chiefs celebrate instead of running in the locker room like a little bitch after losing. I will say that in Stephon Diggs' defense.
Yeah. The one thing about the Patrick Mahomes debate, right? I feel like that's the debate you all should talk about. Best start ever. The GOAT at starting a career. That's what you talk about, Patrick Mahomes. The best ever, that's a conversation we have to wait and see. That's just
as far as is he oh, you're putting him up there in the GOAT category?
I'm not. I'm saying that there's a lot of people who like Patrick Mahomes that do put him up there. I feel like we just need more body of work, maybe another 7 years.
See, with Patrick Mahomes, you're seeing what Brett Favre could have been without Vicodin and beer. I mean, let's be honest. Patrick Mahomes is Brett Favre without Vicodin and beer and better hair.
Better hair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if Mahomes does get this 2nd Super Bowl in his 5th season, 4th season?
It's his 4th season, 3rd year starting.
I mean, if the guy wins 2 Super Bowls in 3 years of starting, it's really hard not to put him up there. He'll already have 2 more than Dan Marino.
You're like, not another one.
Blank face. But I mean, how do you not? He'll have 1 more than Aaron Rodgers.
Have 1 more than Russell Wilson.
1 more than Russell Wilson. I mean,
Makes me sad.
It's going to be pretty hard not to say he's got to get to 4, I think, to be on Mount Rushmore. It'll be Brady, Montana, Mahomes.
I don't even know about that, dude. Like, okay, so maybe if he goes on this insane run, right, and he gets, like, let's say 3 Super Bowls out of it, which is honestly very, very possible. They're in the Super Bowl this year. I don't see their team dying out next year. Yeah, it's possible if they get to 3 Super Bowls, sure, you'll make the case. They did that with Brady early in his career, if you remember, comparing him to Joe Montana, when he went 3 for 4 years. If
that work out.
He ended up being better. That's how it worked out. It ended up being a lot better. So I don't know. It's an interesting topic. It's just one of those things where I just want to see I just want to see it go longer before I put him in the GOAT conversations or the top 10 or top 20 in NFL history.
So I'm gonna answer this comment here
From Anthony.
I don't know how much the enemy has had to do with it, but I think you need to thank Alex Smith and Andy Reid. Because Mahomes' thing coming out of college was he's a gunslinger. You see it, he's a gunslinger. The guy can do crazy shit throwing the football. But that was a problem. Like it was too much confidence. I think Alex Smith taught him a little bit how to calm down and make the right decisions. And then Andy Reid, let's face it, Andy Reid made Donovan McNabb fucking great. So Andy Reid knows a thing or two when it comes to being around good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. We saw what it did for Aaron Rodgers too. Sitting behind a great, with Mike Sherman, who was a great offensive mind, or not Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy at the time. He was a good offensive mind. It did wonders for him at the start of his career.
And I just think, look, Mahomes is a great talent. Andy Reid's a great coach. I mean, Andy Reid won with Alex Smith. Captain Checkdown.
We got our other Chiefs buddy in here. Danny, what's up, buddy? Congratulations to your Chiefs. 2 Chiefs fans. We appreciate y'all.
Nice. We got any Bucks fans in here? God damn.
I don't know. We don't have our buddy Raph yet. I haven't seen him. All right, so let's move on. We kind of touched on it. Andy Reid is great. He is a great. Look, he did this. He did the same shit in Philadelphia. He didn't get the Super Bowl win. He ended up losing to Tom Brady, Tom Brady and the Patriots. But 4 NFC championships in a row, 3 AFC championships in a row. Only coach to do that ever. The offense that he's put together with both of those teams, unprecedented.
Is this Andy Reid's revenge game?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Is it like, is this for the time for him to be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. I'm done with you.
Right? I don't even think this is a question. Andy Reid's a great coach. We know he's a great offensive mind. I think it would be a great fucking coaching staff would be to see Andy Reid and Bill Belichick on the same coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a little nuts.
Yeah.
A good defensive guy, Andy Reid. Yeah, he's a great. The end. No more to say about it.
Yeah.
He's a FATMAN. I love him.
Here's a comment here. If you had to pick one, is Andy Reid going to be remembered as a Chiefs coach or an Eagles coach?
Chiefs coach. You won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, definitely a Chiefs. Definitely
Maybe 2.
Chiefs, no doubt. Dick Vermeil is great. Andy Reid is close, but not quite there yet. I don't know. I think he's there. I really do. I think he's there.
Dick Vermeil.
I definitely think he's there.
How many Super Bowls did Dick Vermeil win?
1. I feel like I'm being put on the spot.
No, you're not being put on the spot. I was hoping the person that made that comment would be able to answer it for us.
Yeah, Anthony, give us an answer for us.
Because I know he got at least 1 with the Rams. I don't know. He didn't get 2 with the Rams, did he? I mean, he orchestrated the greatest show on turf.
All right, go on.
And then he retired again. And then he came back again to coach the Chiefs, but Reid is better than Vermeil.
Yeah. All right.
I think most of Vermeil's highlights of his coaching career are him standing up there at the podium crying about some dumb shit. Like, Kurt Warner just couldn't be a quarterback.
Oh, man.
He didn't even believe in Kurt Warner. How'd that work out?
Oh, man. All right, so
hold on. I got a visitor. What's up?
All right, I'll keep talking. Josh Allen, what do you guys think this did for him? Josh Allen had a tremendous season. 45 total touchdowns this year. He really stepped it up. He was one of the most turnover-heavy quarterbacks in the NFL his first 2 seasons, and I feel like this season he just, lit it up. He was almost unstoppable for practically the entire season. What do you think this does for Josh Allen getting an AFC Championship appearance? Looking at that Bills team, their window's obviously wide open. What do you think this does?
I think my butthole is puckered with having to put up with Josh Allen for the next 10 years. He got the experience. We'll see what happens next year. He looked like a stud all season long. He's big, strong, beefy dude, could take off and run over dudes, can throw the ball a country mile.
Yeah.
I might be in love.
Yeah, Josh Allen was awesome. I honestly couldn't call that happening whatsoever. We go from the start of the season, them acquiring Stephon Diggs. I saw somewhat of an increase to his production over the last 2 seasons, but I wasn't expecting this. The guy played like a top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback all year long, and I think that they have somebody with Josh Allen 100%.
So one of my longtime friends, I've known him ever since we were in 2nd grade. Davey put in here, he will do what Kelly couldn't. I'm not 100% sold on that because he has to deal with Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs are definitely the top team in that division right now. But yeah, I love me some Josh Allen. I hope he gets there one day. I just hope he doesn't beat Miami to get there.
Just so you know, we got a couple of guys going back and forth, and I'm absolutely loving it.
It seemed we were going back and forth about the Chiefs a little bit.
Yep, I absolutely love it. Talk that shit. That's why we're here. All trolls welcome. So thank you, Pat. Thank you, Anthony, for the blowing up the comment section here. Comment here, Rob. Big fan of Allen after this year. It adds motivation for the upcoming season. Give him more weapons, and he's going to be dangerous, especially with his run game. And I absolutely agree. I think that's the one thing they're missing. I feel like they have the wide receiver core. They just need to have that running back. We'll see with Zach Moss coming back next year. Singletary, I definitely don't think is it. That's something to see.
I think the thing with Buffalo is they need to work on the defense a little bit. Their defense is kind of, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Against Miami, it looked stellar, and then come playoff times, they didn't really play that well. I think the Bills probably had one of the best receiving cores this year. Cole Beasley a little bit older. They might look to replace him, but
if I'm not mistaken, Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs were the leading receiving duo in the NFL.
All that being said, I'm worried about the Bills the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to his experience, get him a little bit more experience from David. He is only 24. It's true. We saw this early in Peyton's career. It took him 5 seasons before he got his first playoff win.
Yep.
0-3 before he went 1-3. It is what it is. I mean, Lamar Jackson's obviously struggling a little bit in the playoffs as well. We got to give these guys, not every single quarterback that comes in this league could start off like Tom Brady and Joe Montana and now Patrick Mahomes. It just doesn't happen. Or even Russell Wilson for that matter. He started off extremely good in the postseason, and now look at him.
Hey, Davey, I thought you were a Redskins fan. Let's see some tidbits about your. I'm sorry, the Redskins don't exist anymore. The Washington football team. What's?
Yeah, can you buy them a name?
Throw some of your thoughts on them here in in the comment section here. I'd like to see what you think, what direction you think they're going. I know what way I think they're going, but I'd like to know what you think.
All right. Steelers in cap hell. What is your take on this?
True. I mean, true. Yeah, they're in for a shit sandwich.
Yep. From Danny here, people were ready to bail on Josh Allen last year. I said we should wait and see. He just took a while to develop. Lots of quarterbacks did not have what Mahomes had, a year to learn and experience coach at developing QBs and a team that was already at least moderately successful. Allen just had to grab the wheel and drive from the start. It makes a difference, and that's a very true statement. Very, very true. Well said there, Danny.
So it's gotten really hard. I'm going off topic here because we're supposed to be talking about the Steelers and cap hell, but I'm going off a little bit here after that last statement.
Oh.
It's really hard for young quarterbacks coming in now, especially top guys, any quarterbacks drafted in the first round, really. They're expected to come out because of guys like Mahomes and Luck and Manning. They're expected to come out and perform right away. Everyone forgets that it takes a few years to learn the position. Like Justin Herbert came out and lit it the fuck up this season, and that's why everybody's ragging on Tua right now. It takes a good 3 years to develop. So you just got to pump the brakes a little bit. Back to the Steelers and their bullshit going on. So I definitely think Juju's gone. I'm not sure if Ben will be back or not. I think knowing the Steelers and the things they've done in the past, and they're just a classy organization, is I don't think they'll run Ben off. I think they're going to leave the decision up to Ben, with the caveat of maybe, Ben's going to have to take a little less money. But I've seen a whole list of guys. I can't remember who the hell was on it, but all kind of guys that are up for free agency this year on the Steelers. I want to say Bud Dupree was on that list. I could be way wrong, but
Dave Davis, Moa Pook said hello. Tell him I said hello too. Thank you. All right, so we got some comments rolling in here. The first one, Angel, honestly, I think paying Ben $41 million a year is an astronomical number. And I agree. I think the big thing about the Steelers is, just keeping their identity of their team. And what's their identity right now? Is a very good, solid defense. All right.
So I don't think Ben is going to make $41 million, but he counts for $41 million against the cap. I think he's only going to make like 22 or something, I was reading. I don't know enough about how the salary cap works, how the guy's getting paid 22, but he counts for 41. I don't know if it's in the earlier years of the contract, he counts for less, and I don't know how all that lingo was put together.
Well, I think it's him getting $41 million. I'm almost positive that's the cap hit that they're taking. That's how much he's going to be making, 41 mil. And I think it is the last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. But let's be real here. They are in cap hell, and the biggest thing for Pittsburgh is to keep their identity. What I saw out of the Steelers is once Bud Dupree went down and they started losing a couple players on their linebacker. I mean, how they had like a third stringer in there in that Redskins game or the Washington football game. They need to shore up that defense. That's number one. Sign Devin Bush, sign Bud Dupree, keep the defense together. Maybe keep Joe Hayden. Just keep all those guys intact. I think the Haskins signing is not actually that bad of a sign, because I feel like the Steelers, see themselves as only needing a serviceable quarterback because I think they believe that their defense is good enough to make the stops necessary to keep them at least at a decent football team or even better.
So Ben Roethlisberger will make $19 million next season. That's how much money he'll make. But he counts as 41 against Skek because I think the signing bonus is figured into that, and he gets all that money up front.
Right.
They shouldn't have signed Dwayne Haskins. He's a fucking bum. That was a waste of money. They knew Deshaun Watson was coming. You know, you hear fucking all the shit about Deshaun Watson, so they knew that was coming. Stafford kind of came out of nowhere, but you got fucking Matty Ice out there. Dwayne Haskins is a bum. Like, Mason Rudolph is a bum.
But they're cheap. Very, very cheap.
Bums. Do you want to win or do you want to bum?
I think that those guys, I mean, let's be real. Haskins is a talented player. He's talented.
He's a bum.
I'm not saying that this guy is going to push the Steelers to like 10 or 11 wins. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you got to look at this sign, like how Seattle signed Tavares Jackson back in 2011. All right, and look at it for what it is. You need a guy that you could pay for now. You need a guy that can step in who has some type of ceiling, and he does have a ceiling. And that's what I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. He's a hell of a lot more cheaper than Stafford. There's no way they could have even afforded Watson. I mean, they probably would have had to get rid of everybody on the free agency list to even get Watson in there. I think it makes a whole lot of sense.
I agree with Anthony. They should have went for Stafford.
Everybody should go for Stafford. All right, so let me see if I can get some comments here.
Let's see. So Pittsburgh window is pretty big if they get a plug-and-play quarterback. If they're going to roll, you're only going to get one more year out of Ben.
I don't even think you bring it back.
Which means your defense is going to get another year older. So, I mean, if they're going to make a move for a quarterback, they have to do it now. If they want to get a veteran guy. Otherwise, because there's too many good ones out there right now. Otherwise, they're going to be getting either somebody else's trash backup or, you know, they're going to get a kid out of college.
I could see them drafting. I could see them drafting a guy. I really can. You know, when you have people like Rudolph and Haskins in front of you, it's a possibility that the guy will play even.
No, probably.
Yeah. As a Steelers fan, I'm disgusted with the cap. I love Ben to death, but he's got to hang it up and let Pitt rebuild the offense. I also didn't like the Haskins pickup. They need to restructure a lot of players and get your next franchise QB, which is very, very accurate and pretty much on the lines of what I'm saying, other than not disliking the Haskins thing. I think it's a nice move for right now. Let me see if I can get these comments rolling because you guys have been going.
So Haskins is still young, and I think with some work he'll be decent. No, you're wrong. He sucked at Ohio State. He sucked in the pros. He's going to suck in Pittsburgh. He sucks.
All right, so these are just answers. Here's one. Devin Bush and Dupree really hurt them. Also, aging defensive line with to it, and Cam could really use some youth. Yes, totally agree. I have nothing for that. I just think you're spot on with that. Ben needs to restructure his contract. You know, and I think that's the somewhat of the best case scenario for the Steelers if they could figure out a way to restructure it so they're not taking such a huge hit and somehow shoring up some key guys, you know, by letting Juju walk, by letting Connor walk, but making sure that your pieces like Devin Bush and Dupree are signed.
Oh, somebody here put Chad Henne as backup, baby. Woo! Hey, give me a woo! I love me some Chad Henne. I have faith in him. He went 19 for 19 against the New York Jets.
Absolutely. Got some Haskins hate here. What's going on, John? Thanks for coming in and joining us. Haskins is still young, and I think
I hear the little fat man out there giving me a woo.
and you know what, Angel? I agree with you. I'm glad that there's a Steelers fan that doesn't completely hate the sign. All right. Trashkins couldn't even do it with Scary Terry, and he's an NFL caliber compared to what's available. Here we go. The smack talk is real. I love it. All right, let's move on here from the Steelers cap hell. Let's get into a subject we all want to talk about. Probably the second hottest comedy on the market right now. We're talking
Comedy.
Matthew Stafford.
Let me teach you English. Commodity.
Did I fuck that up?
You said comedy.
It could be a comedy, you know, with every San Francisco 49er fan out there keep busting my balls about how they're going to get them.
You know, the popular pick is, you know, somebody just put in the comments as it was coming out of my mouth. Indianapolis.
Please be the Colts. Please be the Colts. Please be the Colts.
The hot pick.
I don't want him to go to San Francisco.
Rams. Now, see, that is also a smart fan. I know we talked about this. We might have talked about it on the phone the other day, but the Rams is the place that is interesting to me. That's kind of because are they done with Goff? McVay came out and said, you know, yeah, he's a quarterback when asked about it. I could see Stafford, you know, he'd look good in that Rams uniform.
Just please don't go to the NFC West.
You won't know who to root for.
Dude, listen. If I wasn't such a diehard Seahawks fan, I mean, I'd probably have his jersey behind me on my wall. All right, I'm a huge fan of Stafford. The last thing I want him to do is go to a West team. So I'm up for the Colts. Colts. That's where I want.
Here's another interesting one, and nobody. I like that comment. Let me finish this thought first, though. You know, we keep hearing about Miami maybe being interested in Deshaun Watson, and it's going to take a ton of cap. It's going to take a ton of picks and a Tua to get you Deshaun Watson. What about making a trade with Detroit? Give him the number 18 pick, so you still keep the number 3. Give him the number 18 pick. Bring Stafford to town, and at 3 you grab a receiver. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it's pretty smart. You know, a lot of people are saying aging.
Comment on the screen. I don't know if I want to read it off, but I found it hilarious.
I'll read it off.
Derailed my train of thought.
Stafford is hotter than a $2 whore on a nickel right now. Good job, Anthony. Very beautiful. Let's go back to here. Rob here. I believe Stafford is underrated. The dude is a tough son of a bitch, and wherever he goes, he'll do great. I can't see him going to the Pats. You know, that's another place though that he'd be a really good fit with New England. You know, McDaniels, he can work with any guy. His offense, we saw him with Tebow, we saw him with Tom Brady, obviously the GOAT, but you know, his offense would work with any quarterback that's good at checkdowns, anything that's down the middle, and they'll have a guy that's serviceable enough to throw it on the outside.
Fuck the Patriots.
Oh my God, I love it. Could you imagine if Miami finishes like 4th next year with a 9-7, 11-5-ish record because the other 3 teams are that good?
It can happen. Inside sources said Stafford's going to be a Niner. Who are your sources?
www.iwantmatthewstaffordontheniners.com. Please make it happen. That's where he got his source from.
You had to know I was going to slip. You had to know I was going to slip it in.
Man, comments are really rolling, guys. Really appreciate all the comments you guys are going today.
What is this? Do you see the one on the right there? The YouTube one?
Matt Nagy. Hi. The Seahawks are a weird organization. Thanks. Just so you know, I love the Seahawks. I don't care how weird they are.
The Jets in Houston are hot for a quarterback. Don't forget they have some money they can spend. They both have quarterbacks already.
www.staffordwantsseahawkblood.com.
The Seahawks fire. I don't know.
We're not going to read that one. We're not going to read that one.
We're not going to read that one. That's a little far.
No, do not read that one. Why'd you put that up?
Did I? I didn't
No,
put it.
somebody, we know who did. Um, so, yes, I think the biggest thing for me, why I don't want Matt Stafford on either one of those two organizations is, the guy's already got 38 comebacks. He's only 32, going on 33 years old. Phenomenal quarterback. He's still young. He's got 11 seasons in the NFL, and he's been playing with the Lions. The Lions. I mean, let's be real here. And if he goes to an organization where he does not have to carry them, he's going to push them far. And what's best landing spots? I mean, one thing, you know what? Not a lot of people are talking about the Broncos. The Broncos could possibly be a spot.
That is another that is another good spot. I was ragging on the Broncos all season. Who loses to the Broncos? So that's why we don't have any Broncos fans here. I was advised by one of our peoples that it's gross to have it on screen. So I heeded the warning. Sorry.
All right, here's a comment here. He needs to be protected, though. That's why I say any tons of cap, Quentin and those fellas up front to keep that back healthy. And, they do have a really good situation over in Indianapolis. They are, second in the NFL with how much money they have to spend this offseason, and being 11-5. I mean, shit, that's a great place to go. They have one aging star in T.Y. Hilton, and there's going to be this guy is tearing the Seahawks up, man.
I know, you're getting lit up. Did you see this one? We're gonna have to touch on that a little bit later.
There is no touching. That's a scumbag fucking move, and there is no reason why they just didn't come out and say what it was. It's kind of a pacifist kind of move on not just calling what it is. It was fucking disgusting, and it was a horrific act, and period. And there's
was it as bad as the Ray Rice one?
This is fucking 100 times worse. Let's
really?
move on. I don't even want to talk about this. This is shit. Horrible. People like that should be just locked up, and a bunch of other guys should beat the shit out of them. That's just my opinion on it.
But you're getting trolled hard.
That's all right.
I like it.
I'm happy to say I am 1-0 against the Seahawks. That's cool.
You're getting trolled.
I know, he's just sipping him in there. All right. Let's go over to the Jets. Jets.
I will not speak of the Jets.
Robert Salah sign. And you know what? The best part about it is the way he conducted himself, what he is talking about first, the players. I love it. I think that the Jets are going to be the real deal coming up. And do you think it's crazy for me to say that they could be like a 10 to a 6-win team after being butt cheeks? I am the head coach of the Chicago Bears, if you didn't know. Yeah, I'm sure you are, bud.
Find a quarterback, bud.
Yeah, do us a favor and do something with your offense. I mean, go sign Nick Foles to like a 10-year, $100 million contract so I can laugh at you for the next 8 years.
It must be a Dolphins fan. The Jets.
The Jets.
Fuck the Jets.
Listen, they got 2 number 1 draft picks this year. All right. They are one of the teams that are actually leading for the Deshaun Watson. Thank God, because I still want to troll you about him going to the Dolphins. And I just really think that we're looking at a changed culture over at the Jets. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm happy that he's finally out of the West because I was tired of seeing his mug over there on the sidelines. What's up?
I said, yeah, good for you, bud. I'm happy for you. Thanks. What a fucking present. And I might have to deal with Matt Stafford too.
God, I hope so. I hope so. That whole division is great now.
So I'm pretty sure I said it. I think that guy gets you 6 more wins, next year. First year there, I think they're going to have 6 more wins. Is he going to keep Sam Darnold around? I don't know. He's going to have to do a little bit with that defense and the offense. The offense, I mean, they're another team that they don't have any weapons. I think the only thing they have is Sam Darnold.
So I ain't going to lie, guys. Whoever this fake Matt Nagy is, he's over here ripping me over here. We got Russell Wilson, a.k.a. Wilson.
Must be a Rams fan.
We got Aaron Donald, a.k.a. the bully of Russell Wilson. Very, very true. Most sacks against him. And Jalen Ramsey, a.k.a. security cop for DK. Whew.
That's facts.
You lighten my ass up over here. I like that he said I'm the coach of the Chicago Bears. That's like the biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
up over here. I like that he said
yeah, Wow. Well, hey, bud, our YouTube channel is finally getting some comments.
Oh, yeah. I definitely appreciate that. And he's just lighting it up over there. Definitely appreciate the comment section. Here we go. Dak would have had amazing stats, 450 yards a game until the injury. Come on. And I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm healthy with those receivers. That's deadly.
Wait, I thought we were talking about the Jets.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why that one came up. Hey, listen. Clicker behind the scenes of the comments. Stay on topic. She gave me the bird.
Well, that was our resident Chiefs fan.
Yep.
That was Anthony.
All right, so here's a comment for the Jets here. Honestly, with the Jets salary cap, I think they could do something. They hold multiple day 3 picks, could be in a place for high-end talent. They need to address issues on their offensive line, need an elite wide receiver, cornerback, and edge rusher. From our commenter, Angel, thank you very much. And I agree with a lot of that. And I think one of the issues for the Jets that they really, really don't need to address is quarterback, Sam Darnold's really not that bad of a quarterback.
No, he just doesn't have anything around him. And he had Adam Gase for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and plug this again in the middle of a topic. So up there in the right-hand corner of your screen, you see a link. Digital Cookie Girl Scouts. Aurora, that's the little fat man. Make sure you head over there and order yourself some Girl Scout cookies, folks. You can have them mailed right to your house. It supports our local troop here. Puts a smile on my kiddo's face. She got 210 boxes to go, so make sure you head in there and help her out. Especially you, Matt Nagy. You got a ton of money. Forks them over. We ship to Chicago, too. All right, back to the Jets.
Yeah, another thing that I like about that comment is addressing their wide receiver issue. Jamison Crowder's not the guy. I'm sure we can get another year out of him. Rumor is, if you heard Sean
That's
rumor is, if you're around Sean McVay farting, you will get a head coaching job. I don't want your edible weed cookies. Yes, you do, Nagy. Let's see them.
Don't worry, bud. If it was that, I wouldn't be pushing them. I'd be keeping them all for myself.
Yeah. But yeah, there is a wide receiver I really, really like out there, and I could see him in a Jets uniform next year, and that's Allen Robinson. I hear some things about him possibly going to the Ravens, and the Ravens also need a wide receiver. But I just want to see Sam Darnold with more offensive weapons and a better defense around him before before we write the guy off, is I feel like there's flashes of greatness from Sam Darnold. I think that we see a more than serviceable quarterback with him. You have anything to add before I read this?
All right. No, I was gonna ask if did we go through our spiel, or do we still got some more topics in there?
We could just directly go off what's going on in the comments. We got a ton of people here still, which, again, we appreciate it.
All right, sweet.
Rudy, besides Russell Wilson, who was the most disappointing player last year? I like that
Jared
he said
Goff.
besides us. I like that he said besides Russell Wilson, because for me, he was the most disappointing player last year.
Well,
I just think
that.
I think it wasn't a player. I think it was Matt Nagy as a coach. I thought that, you have a team with that roster and you decide to give Nick Foles the start after starting off 2-1 with Trubisky. And, obviously he won you 5 out of your last 7 games too. Like, what kind of idiotic moron would put that guy in?
Nagy.
Hawk, you gonna speak on the Chad Wheeler thing?
We did. We covered it. Moving on. We said what we had to say. Well, you said what you had to say. I asked if it was as bad as Rams. The end. Cut him, kick him out of the league, suspend him, do what you got to do.
He's a scumbag, and I really wish that the Seattle Seahawks organization was less of a pacifist about it and more direct and more brutal. That's what I want. And it didn't happen. It was a scumbag act. All right. See, most disappointing player besides Matt Nagy's coaching, I want to say Zeke was pretty disappointing. That's a good comment from Kerry.
That's pretty spot on, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to run with that. I think Ezekiel Elliott was the most disappointing player. The guy's getting paid how much money? Top paid running back in the NFL, and he had 2 100-yard rushing games in the season? That's horrible. All right, let's see. We get back to comments.
I like the comment on the screen. No, I can't find it. Oh, Matty Ice can go up 20 and blow a game like a hooker on meth. That's pretty entertaining.
He's talking about the other Matty Ice, Matt Ryan on that. That's 100% true. I think Matty Ice is a pretty disappointing player too. We're used to seeing him in top 5 and everything. I think the only thing he was close in or was the top 5 in passing yards. That team struggled, lost 6 games in the top.
Yeah, but
within on score.
But again, could you blame that all on Matt Ryan? I mean, you just said he was in the top, I don't know, would you say 5 in passing yards? I don't know his stats.
I believe his only good stat was passing yards. He was pretty low on everything else, which we're not used to seeing.
But how was your defense? Where did washed up old busted knees Todd
defense? Yeah, I know all that shit. Yeah. But
all this guy is Julio Jones, really. Eh?
But you don't think it's disappointing for Julio not to get more touchdowns?
That's a guy that might be on the move. Is Matt Ryan?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Let's put him in the big form.
Here's a comment. Hard to be good at running back when you're down 20 in the second quarter and have 12 carries. That's
if you make the most of your 12 carries, you won't be down 20. How about run for more than fucking 2 yards?
Let's see if I can get that off at least, so people won't think we're talking about the Jets. Our friend Nagy, who's not there anymore.
Yeah, no more Jets. Fuck them Jets.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, we lost him. We lost
comments and everything. Yeah, he's probably on www.bashseahawks.com, so he can more copy and paste comments. I mean, I was ready to play, and obviously he ran away. So where the hell is this guy?
We lost him at cookies, bud.
I was like, hey, put some cookies in there, money man. And he's like, oh, fuck the cookies.
Yeah, right.
Pollard,
No,
Pollard
Aaron
was,
Rodgers. Go ahead.
Pollard was doing better than Zeke. No. We want to hear your shit, Carson Manning.
So here we go. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will be on the move? No. The Packers came out and already said, the president came out and said, look, we're not idiots. Aaron Rodgers, his words kind of got misconstrued. It was his body language. He just got kicked in the teeth for 60 minutes. Lost another chance at going to a Super Bowl. He'll be forever be stamped as the guy that coulda, woulda, shoulda. He was feeling butthurt. He only threw his name in there because he's a good leader, but he's going to be losing teammates that he's gone to war with for the last couple of years. No, he's not going to be on the move. He's going to shut the fuck up. He's going to take the offseason off. He'll be back next year slinging touchdowns, throwing 50 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and he'll be on, the Aaron Rodgers list for the 5th time.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy how much the media blew this up. I mean, it was on like every major sports cast. I was even surprised it showed up on the McAfee show, considering Rodgers is there like every freaking Tuesday, which I was also surprised that he showed up for. As I would have took the freaking week off. I'd have been like, screw that. But yeah, he basically.
However, now that I see who it was that asked that question in the comment section, feel free to go ahead and rub in the Jordan Love is number 1. Maybe write it on that nice big whiteboard that's hanging up in that office.
There you go. Or Brett Favre is better than Aaron Rodgers. Gary gave me the middle finger. Oh, you bet. So, yeah, back to what I was saying. A lot of the reason why there's speculation of him possibly going somewhere is because he was real to the media and saying that there's, in the business, there is no guarantees, and it's very real. It was a statement that he said, at the time. Obviously, his quote came from the locker room 15 minutes after crying. It is what it is. And it's just something that the media blew up. I don't think it's anything to look into. And I've already said that if Rodgers is going to leave, it's not going to be this offseason. I mean, I don't see it. But we could have fun. We could say that, he goes to the Colts or
Pittsburgh. Agree. You got it.
They don't sign anybody, and they just sign Rodgers.
Rodgers is kind of creating some drama the last couple of years. Well, yeah, because he's a bitch. We all see it. He acts like a little girl.
And the thing with Rodgers, the creating the drama, we've seen this all play out before. We've seen this storyline in the NFL. Brett Favre, we've seen it. It's I don't know. I think history might repeat itself with their star quarterback over in Green Bay. Just not this year. All right, we got a comment from Danny.
So why even bring that up? It was right before that one about Wentz. Why even bring that up? I don't know what we were talking about that we brought up that we didn't kind of finish a complete thought on, unless I cut you off.
I think that he was just commenting on the Aaron Rodgers and with the media blowing it up. I think that's what he was referring to. Danny, if you could get back to us on that'd be appreciated. All right, Dylan. I mean, Wentz was by far most disappointing in my opinion. Year prior, he had 4,000 passing without a 500-yard receiver and absolutely shit the bed this year. Obviously, his team and coach didn't help. That's a player I forgot. I take it back. It's definitely not Zeke. It's 100% Wentz. I actually forgot about that because he's kind of like old news now. You got Jalen Hurts back there taking his spot, his spotlight. Yeah, Wentz was trash. I watched about 8 Eagles games this year, which is probably too much for my liking. And, I had a friend that used to watch the pod with us and talked about the Eagles a lot with, and he used to tell me, he's like, oh, it's not all on Wentz. It's not all on Wentz. He's got no help though. His offensive line is shit. His receivers aren't getting open, blah, blah. But it seemed like every single game I watched, the guy was just missing open throws. He had the time. He was just making extremely bad decisions by holding on to the ball too long and doing what I think was too much to try to win the game.
I think we hit the nail on the head with the coach. I mean, Doug Peterson seemed like he didn't know what the hell he was doing this year. And not just with the coach, but, I mean, their receivers. I know Deshaun Jackson got hurt and then came back and got hurt immediately again. And, I mean, he's old, but he still runs like a rocket. There's something. Oh, why would Rodgers even bring it up? That's what Danny was talking about. He just threw his name in there being a leader. He didn't want to bus drive anybody. But we don't know. I think it was you that sent me the funny meme that, you know, Wentz got married or something and has been shit ever since. Maybe there's some truth to that. But, you know, where does clearly Philadelphia made a statement by saying, you know, Wentz is our guy. Doug Peterson, you could hit the bricks. You're the only coach that ever won us a Super Bowl, but bye-bye. And I think ownership really wants Carson Wentz out there. So I think the question for a while there, we were talking about how we were going to, you know, where Wentz was going to end up. Now the question might be is is Jalen Hurts potentially on the market? If the owner clearly wants Wentz, what does that say for Hurts?
I don't know. I think this is going to be something that we just follow going through the year. This is a tough one because, you know, you got a point. Them firing Doug Peterson because Doug Peterson wants, you know, quote unquote, wanted Wentz. I don't know. This is just a really tough call.
I just got something crazy came up across my phone. I guess the Texans are expected to hire their head coach. I think it said Cully is the guy's name.
I don't know. There's something.
Your phone's working like a piece of junk. So.
Yep, that's what's going on over here. At $33 billion and 3 first-round picks traded later, I wouldn't want him to be out there too. Facts. How the hell do you fire a guy then say he didn't deserve to be fired?
Because you're confused.
I mean, you want me to say
yeah. I mean, I don't work for the Eagles, so I couldn't tell you. Yeah, Texans working toward deal to make David Culley next head coach. So much for the thought of Eric Bieniemy ending up there.
Yeah, that kind of closes everything. That was the last one, I think. I mean, there's a chance, you know, something else opens up. What's his face for the Vikings? I can't think of his name right now. You know, I'm not really 100% sold on him. You know, maybe they make a move to get off him, but usually coaching jobs, they tend to get resolved not either during the season or right after the season. Since nothing's really happened there yet, I don't know if that will happen.
Well, apparently this guy was the assistant head coach for the Baltimore Ravens. I didn't even know such a job existed. So good for him.
Yeah, supposedly he and Watson are super close. That was the last. That's something I'm going to look up on because if that's the case, that might be the key, the tie, to
keep Watson in town.
Right, and then all of a sudden the fat man will get, you know, Matthew Stafford instead of Tua.
I would. Okay, so I would buy a Matt Stafford Dolphins jersey.
I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I almost bought his jersey. Yeah,
I might buy a Matt Stafford 49ers jersey just to wear every week and rub in your face.
All right, guys, this might be the last time you see us on the podcast because if he's going to wear a Niners jersey on here, there's no way I could sit and do this anymore.
Well, come on, bud. I hit you with the Larry Fitz jersey when the Seahawks lost to
him. I know. God, I hate the NFC West teams. Just be Seahawks fans, guys. We can all have fun and, you know, Everything would be all right. Peaches and cream. Let's see. Let's see what else we got in here. Dylan, he had some good stuff here. Thank you, Dylan, with the receivers coach, the Watson being close, and you thinking it might be a Deshaun move. And if it is a Deshaun move, that's another thing that'll help him stay with the organization. They're another place that needs a wide receiver. If the Chiefs win, Fatman owes me a Kelsey jersey.
I'll be sure to send you. I'll be sure to send you a Tom Brady jersey when Tom Brady gets another ring.
Of course, guys. Thanks, Carrie, for inviting me. I'll be on more for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Danny. Dylan. Thank you for coming on and commenting. It's always fun to be able to talk some football with you guys. I actually really enjoy doing this. The Fat Man does too, and it's just a place where we can all fucking talk some smack.
This is what we look forward to, guys. Like, it's a little hard right now. My work schedule just changed, so that's why we're a little late here. But yeah, we have fun doing this. We were doing it. It was just me and the Hawk over there. We were putting it out there, and we found a nice little tool for us to be able to interact with you guys and make it more interesting for all of us involved. So we're kind of having fun.
Oh yeah. We're trying right now to get a schedule going, but it's already been on the Facebook page that the Fat Man, new work schedule. So hopefully we can get things worked out.
Yes, Rudy, I have a job.
Heard Seahawks signed arena football contracts for 2021. Is that a brand new football game? When did that game come out? Seahawks football. Seahawks arena football. There we go. Listen, if they did go down to arena, I'd still be a Seahawks fan.
And they still win the championship.
I actually really like this comment. What says you? What says you over there? I really like that comment.
Yeah, if we actually made money on this, we'd send you one. But we ain't making no money.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We do this for your entertainment. Well, and ours. It's fun.
Yeah. Let's see. What else could we? Oh, I got something. You guys gonna do a prediction show before the game? Yeah, we are, Danny. We're gonna talk about the Bucks Chiefs game. We're gonna try to dive into it a little bit, break it down like a couple of people at the bar, like we typically do. We'll see what's going on. We'll keep you guys posted on what we're gonna do with that. We're still a week and a half away from the Super Bowl yet.
Yeah, we'll be sure to get in here and trash the Chiefs some more, or at least I will.
Yeah,
no, I really like Patrick Mahomes. Like, I was swinging on the Patrick Mahomes ding-a-ling last season. So, and if you watch a couple of our old shows back, I'm pretty sure almost the entire season I had KC on top of my power rankings. Except for maybe the last week. Why? The power rankings were always our most watched episode, but
yeah.
Dolphins.
I actually forgot what we were talking about here.
Dolphins signed 2021 MLB contract. Wow. Yeah, they still won't win, bud. They still won't win anything.
What's great is I bet Tua is a better baseball player than he is a quarterback.
I don't know. His arm's kind of weak. He's accurate. His arm's kind of weak.
I mean, we could watch him strike out at a plate, and I'll still think he's a better baseball player than he is a quarterback.
You're a dick. I know Russell Wilson's a better baseball
player. But he's not better than he is at a quarterback, though.
That depends on who you ask.
Depends if his team is stacked around him. If you're talking about Russell, yes, it does depend because,
no, I want to talk about that might be a Tua. That might be a Tua dig too. Because let's face it, Alabama was stacked.
That is something I want to talk about a little bit. You know, what we're seeing with Mahomes, this was supposed to be Russell Wilson, right? You know, second Super Bowl goes in and Mahomes versus Wilson at the plate. Well, Mahomes definitely has the stronger arm, so at the plate it's 100% Mahomes. You know, but if you're talking about playing, I think he's a shortstop or a third baseman. I actually can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that Wilson is the better ball player. I think that Wilson's been pretty much underwhelming for the Seattle Seahawks since 2015. He's put up amazing numbers. It seems like every year it's like the kind of the same thing, you know, through the first half of the season, you know, thinking, oh, we got an MVP quarterback. And then in the last part of the season, we're just like, what the fuck was that? Now we signed a new offensive coordinator, you know, the passing coordinator from, you know, the Los Angeles Rams. And I'll take that. I really will, because it's the first time in Russell's career that we had a guy that's about passing, you know, to be our offensive coordinator. So I'm excited.
So
Jefferson
how
and
was that
Herbert
passing coordinator for the Rams? How good of a quarterback was Goff?
I mean, Goff was more than serviceable the last how many years? 4.
Okay, so I'll give it to you. He's better than Dwayne Haskins.
He's twice the man of Tua and like 1.5 of Fitzpatrick. All right. So I want to hear your shit about quarterbacks. When's the last time you had a franchise quarterback?
1999.
All right. I don't want to hear your shit no more. All right. Go in your closet. Go dig out your fucking Dan Marino jerseys. All right. Stuff them in the front of your pants and shut up.
It's a dryer. I cry in it every time I watch football.
Right. We'll squeeze it tight like a teddy.
I do.
Justin Herbert. So we got Anthony here. Jefferson and Herbert sophomore slump. I'm going to say no on Jefferson 100%. 100% no on Justin Jefferson having a sophomore slump. And I'm not saying that he will equal the offensive production that he had this year. I don't think he does. I think that he'll still have like 1,000 or like 1,100 yards. I think that, you know, teams are going to catch on to a little bit of that offense. But, you know, I think that Herbert has a better chance of having a sophomore slump because his first season was what? Crazy as hell, right?
And he's got a new head coach. So yeah, Herbert's going to be dealing, you know, he's going to be dealing with a new head coach. I still think he'll play well.
Can you read that comment, please?
No.
Waiting.
Justin
maybe
Jefferson,
Tannehill will always be a good, or maybe Tannehill was always a good quarterback. Can you say for the Dolphin fan on my left, please?
So we're like 3 weeks too late with that comment. I said, you know, the problem with Tannehill was his head coach was fucking Adam Gase. We covered this already.
What was he doing with Adam Gase? I'm just kidding. Let it go. All right, so let's see what other things we have. All right, guys, we're gonna start wrapping this up here, sir. Definitely appreciate you all coming on here.
Man, we went like an hour 45 last time. We're gonna wrap this shit up already.
I said we're gonna start to wrap it up here, so we're getting new.
I know we got 4 people watching us. Let the comments roll, except for you, Angel, damn Steelers fan.
What about underrated, undrafted freak James Robinson? I don't see him having a sophomore slump either. Not with that offensive line. No way.
CeeDee Lamb next season.
No.
As far as a drop off, or
I think CD will be the one guy with a dramatic increase. Somewhat similar. Back, yeah. Doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, you know, he's gonna be similar to like DK Metcalf's production. You know, he went from 900 to 13. I think we'll see the same thing. Like he'll be around 1,300 yards next year. Steeler fan number 2.
Well, We invite everybody except for Jets fans.
Overall take, rookies versus vets this year.
Vets.
I'm going to say the vets. 100% the vets.
I mean,
we had a veteran that won the MVP. We had a veteran that went over 2,000 yards. I mean, the best rookie was Herbert and Justin Jefferson.
Got a 43-year-old veteran playing in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. He's going to blow up. Gallup or Cooper are going to get moved. You know, and I think they keep Gallup too. I think if you're going to move off of one of those two guys, move off Amari Cooper. I know that's like, hey, you know, he's such a stud. He is a stud. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. But I think Gallup and CD are incredible themselves.
I don't think you move any of them. I think you keep them as long as you could. I think if you're Dallas and you're going to move anybody, you move Zeke.
And I know I'm going to get hate. Move off of Dak. I know I'm going to get hate.
That DeMarcus Lawrence too. I can get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. And we got Steeler Nation, Chief Nation in here. We got no Hawk Nation.
I got some. Don't worry, there's no Dolphins fans either. I'm starting to think I'm the only one. No, last time Steven watched. So, hey man, we didn't get anybody on here to talk some shit with us. We didn't put the link out there for anybody.
Hey, yeah, we could do that if anybody wants to come on and talk some shit. If our lady in the chair will send a link, we could do that. Do not move Dak. Definitely move Zeke. Do not move Dak. Okay, look, I gotta address this. Do not move Dak. All right, let's put that up. I don't hate Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is more than a serviceable quarterback. I think he may even be great. But look at the offense and look at the pieces on that team. That is a really, really talented roster. Why pay a man $40 million a year who's won you one playoff game, hasn't made it past the divisional round? He had one 13-3 season, and he did nothing with it. I understand that he was a rookie there and all that other shit, but in my mind, the Dallas Cowboys that year was 100% the best team in the NFL. I think Dak is more than serviceable. I just think that the quarterback position is so inflated that we're just paying guys for yards. I don't think you pay Dak for yards. You should pay him for winning in the playoffs. I got a few Jets and Dolphins fan. We can ball bust if that's okay to invite them. Listen, Rob, you invite anybody you want.
Bring everybody. We want everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Tell your friends if you think they'll enjoy this. If you think they'll enjoy this, you think we're going to make them laugh, you think they'll have some fun talking shit back and forth, thick skin, thin skin, whatever, bring them in. We'll talk shit. If they don't like it, they'll leave. But yeah, we invite it all, man. We're trying to blow this shit up. Let everybody know. There's no reason for us to do this. Like I told everybody when we started doing this, that this is just an excuse for me and my buddy to get together once a week, talk football without our wives being able to get mad at us. Turns out, hey man, there's some other people that like to get in here and talk to us too. We can't exactly go out to bars and shit right now and talk shit to the people around us. So come on in, invite everybody. You know, bring the whole family. You know, we're not exactly kid-friendly content, but bring them in.
What was Dak before the Cooper trade the year they got him? He was super average of that. You know what? That is 100% true. 100% true. He was a bit struggling, you know, before Amari Cooper came in there. There was like a huge knock about how he couldn't connect with another big name wide receiver, Des Bryant, if you guys remember. I don't know. The Dak thing for me is it's not that I don't think he's good. I just think that he's worth under $30 million a year. I know maybe I'm crazy. Whatever. I just feel like maybe you give him a prove it deal, you know, do something that along the lines that he gets a lot of incentives if he makes the playoffs and Super Bowls and other things along those lines. All right. Who led the league in yards? Did his team win games? Who? Where are we at here? Where are we at here? We gotta. Yo, what's up, Alexandra? Nice for you to come in here. I'm trying to find where we are in the comments. Biggest issue is we can't see the names of y'all.
Yeah. With the Facebook, there's a way to do it. Maybe the lady in the chair could help us out with that. I was clicking on it a little bit before. Don't really have the patience to play with it, but
he said,
I know our computer technician lady in the chair could probably help us out with that.
Yeah. Comment about Dak Prescott. He did lead the league in passing for 3 weeks after being hurt. I have a question for you, Rob. Do you think that the league's quarterbacks have a very easy job? And when you answer that question to yourself, answer this next question. Do you think that passing stats are extremely inflated in today's NFL? All right. Here's a question. I actually don't know who said this, but the Cowboys from Rudy, but the Cowboys have a history of sorry quarterbacks. They had faith in Romo for so long. Dak is actually better than Romo. Ooh.
Oh, they see somebody else likes to poke your nerve. Somebody else likes to poke your nerve like I do.
All right. So, I think that Dak needs more of a body of work before we could say he's better than Tony Romo. And, sorry, but his very first season, he wasn't better than Romo. And if Romo goes in that game, y'all go to the Super Bowl. I stand firm.
Romo broken back, Dak broken ankle. We'll see.
All right, so let's go in here. Dez was a one-hit wonder, period. My phone is actually dying. That's from Anthony. I don't know. He was pretty solid with Romo for a couple of years. I know he had one really big year, but, he was solid, very serviceable. This year, we were talking about Dak leading in yards. You know what's crazy about you saying that is before the season started is I said that Dak – I wonder if you remember this, Fat Man. I said that Dak Prescott would lead the league in passing yards with a 6-10 record.
Yes.
And it was coming.
He was definitely
it was coming to fruition. I say he was going to be the first quarterback to ever hit 6,000, and he was on pace. He was on pace. I would have called that straight down the middle. If I gambled, I would have won money.
So I know I saw the link fire through the chat section on here. It should be over on the Facebook page. So Rudy, I want you to click that link and come on in here and let's pick on the Hawk about Romo. He loves him some Romo. He's a closet Cowboys fan. I'll never admit it, but he is.
Oh boy! I promise you, buddy. He's setting you up. He's setting you up. I promise you, he's setting you up. Just stay there.
I just want to get a Rams fan and a Hawks fan in the same room together, fighting over Tony Romo.
All right. Angel invited me. This is cool. I love talking football. Yes, and we do too. This is why we do this. The thing is, what I think is interesting is you guys can comment. We started getting the comments flowing as soon as we talk about football, like the Dallas Cowboys. This is why they're America's team. They just started rolling it. Like everybody either hates or loves the Cowboys.
They're polarizing, man.
Yeah. Will Hill Kelsey take the record to 3 games as a duo in postseason for 100 yards each? Yes. Yes. The bum actually knows his Romo stats. Damn it, Kerry. Shh. I don't know anything about Tony Romo.
Closet Cowboys fan. It's in his heart, in his bed. He wears little Cowboys underoos, grabs his Cowboys blankie and curls up at night.
We want you back in our league for next year for fantasy. Yes, I want to come back too. This season was really, really difficult. With sorry, I was looking at something with COVID and all that shit, and I just did not want to chance the headache of trying to draft a team and watching all that bullshit with with who is going to have COVID, who's going to be out. Like if I had a player from the Titans this year and the Ravens, I would have lost my freaking mind. Like, screw that. We got a comment
the
here.
Broncos. If you had any of the Broncos that week that, they signed a quarterback from, the corner to come in and play quarterback.
Yeah. Like that's that's brutal. That's brutal. The game completely changed throughout the years. It was a run league. Now it's a passing league. So future quarterbacks can watch the game today and learn a lot how to run an NFL offense. And guys like Hill, Kelsey, DK, D-Hop can easily make a quarterback's job a lot easier. What was the second part of my question? All right. So now that you know that, now that you answered that question, do you agree that passing stats in the NFL is inflated? Do you agree that the stats that we see from the quarterbacks in today's game are kind of blown up because of how tailored the league is into protecting its quarterback, to not letting, receivers get touched after 5 yards and other things along those lines?
So that I kind of want to touch on this whole future quarterback thing, watching the game today and see how it's played. So, and you could be real quick to put me in my place if I'm wrong about this, but don't you think that's how quarterbacks keep getting better every 10 years? I mean, you got to figure the guys in the 90s were watching guys like Montana and Marino and Kelly, and then you get in the 90s and you got the Aikmans and the Youngs, and Elway was really still playing good. Marino still playing at a high level. Like, really, the 80s and 90s, you had the same top guys, and then you got the Brett Favres of the world and the Donovan McNabb. Like, nowadays, these guys just sling the rock all over the yard, but all those technical things were learned then. Marino with the release, Montana with the accuracy, Favre with the rocket. The blueprint's been there a long time. I just think now it's being taught earlier. You hear it all the time, and I don't know if you got kids in sports in high school, they got all kind of crazy ass camps now where the kids can go, and these kids coming in the league now, they probably had more snaps by the time they hit college than guys had by the time they hit the pros 10 years ago.
Now, the thing that I 100% agree is that the quality of athlete that we are getting is 100% by far better than the quality of athlete we got in the 90s and other things like that. I think this is the answer. No, not yet. I just think that a lot of it is how the game is being played in today's NFL. It's like, oh, we're just, offenses. Hell, the defenses are so scared. They think allowing a player to score points is more important than stopping the player from scoring points. And we saw that in the Falcons Lions game this year when what's his face Todd Gurley ended up rolling into the end zone. They didn't want him to score the touchdown. He scored the touchdown, and Matthew Stafford does what he does and goes down the field and wins the fucking game. All right.
It's monsters. It's hormones in the milk.
Big John, love to see you, buddy. Thank you for coming on here and hanging out with us. All right, let's get down with these comments here. This one from Carrie. Hell, you don't even need top wide receivers. Most of the quarterback stats are from catching running backs, McCaffrey, a.k.a. McCaffrey, which is very, very, very true. One right before it. Here's a good one. Von Miller is on a rebuilding team with a massive cap hit and a legal issue currently underway. Could Von be on the move? Yes. 100%.
I'm not sure what the legal issue is. I think I seen a little bit here and there, but I didn't waste my time reading about his personal issues.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, and I'm sure.
That's all I care about. Can he still play?
I think the fat man can agree with me. When it comes to like the legal things that go on with the NFL, I tend to like go right past it. A lot of those things are personal things, which I just don't want to put opinions on. I'm not in a place to put an opinion on it, so I don't necessarily just sit there and try to look at it.
Well, the shit I saw was like he's fighting with his baby mama or his mistress or what the fuck ever. It's not my problem. Can the guy play football?
Yeah. Here's a comment from Anthony, 100%, but look at the backs who played on a run-heavy league. You will never, ever find a back built the way Okoye, the Bus, Sanders, Edgerrin James, Larry Johnson, Jim Brown. And I think that sucks, honestly.
Oh, I think one name missing from that list is Mike Allstott.
Terrell Davis.
Leroy. No, I wouldn't put Marshall Faulk on the same list because Marshall Faulk was he was the dual threat, right? He's the guy that started it all with the dual threats, really.
Oh, sure, but I still put him in that because he got over 1,000 every year. He got over 1,000.
This is more talking about the bruise and bangers. You know, there's not. I think Nick Chubb's kind of a bruise and banger.
We had Marshawn Lynch. He's got some of the best highlight reels you'll ever see of a running back. All right.
You know, Josh Jacobs is a banger.
Let's go down here from Rob for the answer. Absolutely. Yes, I believe in safety for all players, but they're pros, not babies. You need an instruction manual on how properly to sack a quarterback without getting flagged. All right. With that being said, I want to kind of go back up to why I asked.
Don't hit him in the head. Don't slam him and don't land on top of him.
All right. So with all that being said, I don't think that Dak Prescott would necessarily compete with Romo in the slight era before that he played when he started in, because it wasn't as easy with the helmet to helmets and Romo playing with such a shitty line. You know, we're talking about the guy that led the league in NFL history in the fourth quarter with quarterback rating and yards. I don't think it's even close. I don't think that Dak is there yet. You know, that's just how I feel about it. Romo was there. Romo got a shit end of the stick, so to speak. You know, his team was always building. He was the focal point around the offense when he was there. You know, Dak is a piece. Let's move on.
Why are you hating on Dak, bro?
I don't hate on Dak. I think Dak is more than a serviceable quarterback. He's not worth $40 million a year.
28?
Yeah, easy. 28 to 30, I'll be happy with. But not – he doesn't deserve Russell Wilson money. He doesn't deserve Aaron Rodgers money. He hasn't done what Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers has done yet, so he doesn't get that money. All right, let's see if I can go back here. Kind of falling behind here. Yeah, he verbally abused his girlfriend through text and told her to have an abortion or something from what I read. You know, again, like we kind of just try not to talk about that. Let's talk Saquon Barkley. Ooh, this is a good topic. Let's try to find who put this up here. From Rudy. Rudy, you're always questions. Let's talk some Saquon Barkley. I mean, did you see the size of this man's legs? Yeah, I trust him, you know. We saw other running backs take a huge injury before and come back the next year and play fairly well. You know, when we saw one win an MVP, Adrian Peterson. Yeah, he's young. I definitely trust him.
I love me some Saquon Barkley.
He's a Penn State. I am too, but not as big as him.
He's from Pennsylvania. He played at Penn State. He's got legs like oak trees. He just can't stay healthy at the pro level for some reason. I think he needs to get himself a new personal trainer or get on that TB12 program and, you know, start taking care of himself because he hasn't had a healthy year yet. Whoa, somebody just plowed in a whole bunch of Romo stats.
Yeah.
Look at rugby. Rugby, no limited injuries. NFL, all injuries. The difference in rugby teaches to tackle with your head behind the ball carrier, shoulder in front. It's opposite in the NFL. Well, also the other thing that you forget there is rugby, there are no pads, right? I mean, you said it. Rugby, no pads, no helmet, blah, 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 blah. So guys aren't going to be willing to throw their entire body into a hit like they are when they feel like they're all suited up. They got the pads, the helmet, thigh pads, butt pads, whatever. Because you feel like you're protected. They give you that extra layer of protection, right? Think about it. It's like at work. Say you work somewhere, you got to wear a hard hat, where you're a little more careless about where your head's at. You bang it off a freaking pole. Oh, then it tickles a little bit. So yeah, in rugby, they're gonna teach better fundamentals, and you're not launching your whole body into somebody because you're going to be constantly breaking shit. And just like there's a lot of thoughts out there for bare knuckle boxing. Guys aren't going to punch each other in the face as hard if their knuckles aren't protected because they're going to break their hands.
What did Romo do in the playoffs? That is what matters. Well, his record's 2-4, right? But that was a fucking catch. All right, it was a catch.
No catch.
It was a catch. 3 steps.
Catch.
He wins that game. Enough said.
He didn't have control.
Enough said. I'm done.
Oh, are you off the Romo? Come on.
Fuck no.
It's interesting.
Let's look. Romo's playoff career would have been 100% better if he had the team he had later from 2013, 2014 on, instead of what he had to deal with in 2007, 2008, 2009.
So I'm kind of surprised by the person who put these Romo stats in here.
Yeah, who was the person that put those Romo stats? I have no clue.
It was the lady who chooses to put up with me. Surprisingly. She just wanted to show me she's paying attention.
Yeah, TB12. Yes, you feel invincible with those pads. Hell no, rugby players aren't at the NFL level, period. All right. Here's a question from Rob, if I can find it. Tight end position. Who has a better season next year, Kelsey or Kittle, or possibly even Waller? All right. So I have the best quarterback in that situation, right? You got Mahomes throwing to Kelsey. We got Jimmy G / Nick Mullins / CJ Beathard / whoever the hell they fucking signed
/ Matt Stafford
throwing to Kittle. And then we've got Derek Carr throwing to Waller. I'm going to say Kelsey will have the better season based off who's throwing him the ball. But if they get a quarterback like Matt Stafford, Kittle will lead the league again in passing yards. You heard it here first, folks. I wonder who said that today. The Niner fan that's no longer in here.
I'm going to go with the dark horse.
Going to go with Waller?
I'm going to go with Waller.
Yeah. That's
Linda's going to go fishing. He's going to see some purple walruses. He'll be chucking the ball to Waller.
No crying aloud, Romo lover. Change your jersey to a Cowboys one. No, Rudy, I would never do that. But at least you know that I got the Romo stats just sitting there. And I'll tell you why. It's a fun story. It's because, we're at the place where I used to work. There was a Cowboy fan there. I won't say any names, but this guy used to hate on Romo. He used to think he was like the worst quarterback of all time. And I was just like, wait a minute. He's not bad. What are you talking about? I think you know who the guy I was talking about. The Terry. I mean, I'm not going to say his full name, but remember Terry? Yeah, he used to hate on Romo for no reason.
Light Romo up.
Right. So then we were in the break room, and I obviously know my Romo, and he starts talking about a game that the Cowboys lost to the Broncos 51-48. And he's like, oh, Romo lost us the game, blah, 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 because he threw a pick at the end of the game, right? First thing I said is, how many times does a team win when their defense gives up 51 points? He had nothing. Well, and then nextly, I was like, how many touchdown passes or throws did Romo make that were well over 15 yards that game? And you can kind of go and watch the game for yourselves. No question in my mind did Romo outplay Peyton Manning in his MVP season that year. No doubt. It was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life, actually, and one of the best performances at the quarterback position I've ever seen. Was by Romo. Look at that.
So I'm kind of paying attention here to this. There's some fun going on here in the comment section about rugby and the NFL. It's almost the same sport. I don't see why it needs to be an argument. I think they can both be enjoyed for what they are. And, honestly, I think it takes a little more balls to play rugby just because you don't have all the equipment. And it definitely it's definitely more nonstop action. It's kind of not like, run around, take a break for 40 seconds, run around, take a break for 40 seconds. It's kind of, it's on go till somebody scores and then they have their little scrum again. I mean, I don't watch it, but I don't know. I think it's very similar, yet very different. I think I watched some guys playing rugby in the park one day. Looked fun.
Until that last pass. That's what about Romo. Yep. Every Cowboy fan probably remembers that because that was such a love-hate game. Oh, there goes my phone. So I can no longer read off who's commenting right now.
So our technical wizard over there, the lady in the chair, I see her keep throwing the link up here. If you guys click that in our little chat section here, we'll be able to see your names, which will make it easier on us because we won't be having to watch our phone or open another screen or any of that stuff. So we'll know who we're talking to and we can kind of get you guys in here. So don't be scared. You can see there your name comes up with the comment, but don't be scared. We'll all know who to talk to then. Go ahead, click on that, and you should be able to join in the fun, and we'll know exactly who the hell we're talking
to. Early prediction, next year's Super Bowl. I like this one. AFC Championship, Ravens versus Bills. NFC Championship, Seahawks versus the Packers. Bills versus Packers. No, you just fucking lost me, bud. Bills are going to be hungry, and Rodgers uses the NFC Championship loss for motivation and gets it done. And the best part about all four of those teams is, the Super Bowl window is still open. Problem is the Super Bowl window is still going to be open for the Chiefs and also the Buccaneers until Tom Brady leaves, in my opinion.
Bills Packers Super Bowl. That's what I had picked this year.
I got a dark horse for you though, and it's gonna like almost make me puke by just saying it. But
the 49ers.
If the 49ers
a quarterback.
If the 49ers get a quarterback on Matthew Stafford's level, or, I'm sorry to say, guys, that's the best roster in the NFL. It's still going to be the best roster in the NFL. And that would be my Super Bowl prediction for next season is the San Francisco 49ers. And trust me when I say this, I 100% don't want it to happen and hope that Seattle's ready to play them. Pats will be back in the picture next year. We'll see.
Nope.
We'll see. Maybe Stafford goes to New England and beats up on Miami a couple times. What do I click to show name?
Miami's making the Super Bowl next year.
You want to take that one because I don't know what you're saying.
What?
What do you click to show the name? I don't even know what's going on there.
So the lady in the chair keeps throwing the link up. Miss Leanne, she keeps putting the link up in the chat. If you guys scroll up, I don't see it for Facebook. I see it for YouTube and for Twitter, but I don't see it for Facebook.
Yep. Best Cowboys era: Emmitt Smith, Aikman, Irvin. Without a question. We always talk about this. What do fans remember? Fucking Super Bowl rings. Only people like me remember Romo stats and fucking Matt Hasselbeck stats and
Dan Marino stats.
Right. We're the only ones that care about statistics because it gives us something to cling on to. But fans remember rings. Look at all the Patriots fans. They don't know shit about football. No offense. All I got to say is 6 rings, and you're just like, fuck. What do I got?
Favorite player in the upcoming draft? Some guys you're excited to see jump to the league.
Good.
I'm with everybody. Trevor Lawrence, man. I want to see if this kid's for real. I want to see if he's for real.
Mine's the Devontae Smith. I seen an article about article about, I think it was T.O. Was it T.O. that said he was like kind of like Moss like? I'm trying to remember what the article said, but I think that it's a little early to say he's Moss like. He doesn't have the size, the speed's kind of there, but he's a little slower than Moss. I'm actually just really interested to see another wide receiver in there. We're getting abundance of them. I think that the league is starting to get inflated with wide receivers, and this is great for passing, obviously, and it's a passing league. So that's who I'm most excited for. I want to see that kid Devontae Smith.
Well, we'll know. We'll know next year when somebody starts lighting it up. I don't watch nearly enough college football anymore, so it looks like the link worked for Danny because I could see his name now.
Yes, thank you, Danny.
So I don't watch as much college football as I used to. There's 400 teams that you would have to watch. I don't watch. Penn State finally putting a player in the league on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, because that's like not what Penn State's known for or nothing.
I wonder who this comment was, and I wonder if he's talking about when I said Patriots fans don't know football. Is this you, Johnny? It's been fun and easy to be a Pats fan the last 20 years. Let's see if they hang out 8-8 or worse for several years straight. And it's a happy, laughing face.
I don't think the Patriots will be that bad for that long.
I think that we're going to see the Patriots hang around until Belichick finally says, fuck this, I'm going home. Do you think the Jags take Fields over Lawrence, being that Urban lives his Ohio State quarterbacks? No, you're not. I think that he's smart enough to understand the talent that's coming up. And I think that, he's going to understand that whether he knows a guy or doesn't. This is a business, all right? And in the business, this is what the business tells you is the good. I think if he doesn't draft Trevor Lawrence and this guy fucking goes off, he's going to be in the NFL for one freaking year, and he's going to be kicked right the fuck out. It's going to be like Chip Kelly. How long did he last? 4 years in the NFL? Doing all kinds of dumb shit.
Give me a second, bud. I got to plug in. My computer's dying.
All right. Chip Kelly did all kinds of dumb shit. I mean, he came in there and was like, here, let me dismantle rosters because I want to do this. Like, it's crazy what he did when he came in the league. And I think that would be very, very dumb of Urban Meyer to take Fields over Trevor Lawrence. It's dumb. I'm going live using StreamYard before leaving a comment. Please grant. Okay, I don't know what that is. Parsons has a shot. Yeah, now we Gucci.
So that was the link that they need to click.
Yeah. I love Chuba Hubbard and Caden Stearns. Chuba's okay. These are more people just commenting on the Sun. Sun. Chip Kelly was a shitty coach. Yeah, absolutely. Fields began in Georgia. Gore father-son duo in Hinson.
So we're gonna let our technical person go ahead and share their screen to show you guys how to set this up so that we can see your comments coming through on Facebook and we know who they belong to. So did you guys get that?
All right, I'm sure they did. So I keep seeing the thing with Urban Meyer and Justin Fields. It wasn't To my memory, I believe Urban Meyer, I don't want to say was trying to recruit him. He spent some time with him at some point. I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, John, it worked for you, bud.
Oh, yeah, there's John. John, were you the one that said wow? Please tell me again.
Yes, that was John.
Yes.
So, look, people, if Urban Meyer drafts Justin Fields #1 overall instead of Trevor Lawrence, he should be fucking fired on the spot. Anybody who drafts Justin Fields in the top 20 should be fucking fired on the spot.
I don't
He's
know about that one.
Quarterback. He's gonna blow in the NFL. I'm not saying it just to hate on Ohio State and Ohio State fans, because I fucking hate Ohio State with a passion. Name one Big Ten quarterback that did well in the NFL. It's not just Ohio State. Every fucking Penn State quarterback sucked, except for maybe Trace McSorley. He still might make something. But Kerry Collins, dude, I loved Kerry Collins. 94, fucking 10-0. He's the man. Goes to the pros. All right, so I guess he made a Super Bowl with the Giants, but he fucking laid an egg. The kid should have been so much better than what he turned out to be. Yeah, he went to New Orleans, turned into an alcoholic for a while, but still, like, the Big Ten is not known for quarterbacks. Brady, all right, got me. Got me. But he was technically, he was like a fucking backup.
He was sixth string or sixth round pick, 199th overall, 6-time Super Bowl champion, 9-time Super Bowl appearances, will be 10-4 in the championship.
Hey, you got me. I forgot where Brady went to school.
There you go, man. They produced the greatest of all time. They're GOATs. All right,
bud. It's time for the signature FATMAN Copenhagen Lipper.
I kind of agree, but there's just no way to know that about Fields. You know, it's true. You know, we won't know, and this is why, like, when somebody asks me, you know, who do I think is the best quarterback in a draft, or like who's like, I try not to answer these questions because, you know, good example, the 2012 draft, we had a guy named Andrew Luck and RG3. And we also had Russell Wilson in there going in the third round. Who's the best quarterback?
Don't forget Tannehill.
Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, Brandon Weeden. All right.
Okay, Weeden sucked. But you can't just skip over Tannehill. Show him his, you know, his love.
Yeah. Show him that he's better than every Dolphins quarterback since Chad Pennington. And he was a Jet.
I got nothing for that.
Yep.
I got nothing.
But like, we go back there, you guys don't know. Nobody knows who's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL. Andrew Luck was supposed to be like this Trevor Lawrence guy. I never seen a guy so hyped up in my life watching the NFL. Like, oh, Andrew Luck. He's the next Peyton Manning. This is going to be amazing. And honestly, I felt like his entire career was underwhelming. And I thought year to year, Wilson outplayed the hell out of him. Obviously, he did have a better team, but I mean, it is what it is there. It's not Wilson's fault or Luck's fault that he didn't go to a better team. It's just more or less like he wasn't the best producing quarterback in that draft. So, I mean, I don't want to sit there and pick a guy, you know, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, obviously Trevor Lawrence. You know, I'm not that hype on Trevor Lawrence because it's more like a wait and see for me. You know, Ryan Leaf, good example. I
very much remember Ryan Leaf. I was the dumbass that thought Ryan Leaf was going to be better.
Yeah. 199 overall, 6 rings, 7 coming soon. There was also a question on what we think the score of the game is going to be. I just want to let you know we're not going to get into that. We're just going to live in the moment right now. We'll talk about the score of the game at a different time.
It's going to be 0-0.
Luck got the shit end. His GM traded for Trent Richardson and signed an old busted Andre Johnson. I agree. He had moments where it was like, is that my best emoji impression right there?
The problem is the Colts didn't get an offensive line and all that shit until Luck was too beat up.
Yeah, Luck got his ass kicked in the NFL.
You know?
Yeah. I seem to remember
he got slapped year.
I seem to remember a certain quarterback, somebody can tell me who, in the comments, that said that the NFL is easy.
Fuck you.
I wonder how that worked out.
Go ahead, guys. Light up the comment section.
Yeah. So since we don't got a topic right now,
we're counting on you guys to give us some shit to talk about.
What do you think about Dan Campbell? LMAO Tua.
I like Dan Campbell. He's a throwback, tough guy. He's gonna bite off your kneecaps. I like that nasty edge. Do I think he's gonna fucking suck? They ain't gonna win no games. Especially after trading Matt Stafford. He's gonna fucking suck. But I like his attitude.
At least his very first year, he's gonna get back down, he's gonna get up, he's gonna bite a kneecap, they're gonna knock him down again, he's gonna get up and bite the other kneecap, and then he's gonna get knocked down and get up and take a chunk somewhere else. That he said, I don't know how I feel about him. I'm more of a Robert Saleh guy. I like the way he conducted himself. I think Dan Campbell, he's obviously cleaning house.
He's going to make for entertaining press conferences.
Yeah, like what was it, Mike Singletary?
But I just like him because he's nasty. And I love nasty motherfuckers. So.
Oh, I love this one. Worst fucking press release since Gase showed up high as hell.
Well, hey, man, he was getting some of that good Colombian Bam Bam off the corner of New York. What do you expect?
Yeah. I think Gase is a serviceable coordinator at the very least. He's just a shit coach. Here's a topic I know you like. Where do you see the Raiders in 2021?
No, that is definitely a Q.
I know, it's a fat finger. Don't worry, I do it all the time.
I think you're going to see the same shit next year. The Chargers are coming up. You got the Chiefs own that division. Yeah, I feel bad for the Raiders. 9-7.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to talk to. I will talk about that comment. You don't say shit, all right? You don't say shit yet. I will say something about that comment.
Oh, you want it? All right.
Because we go way back on this.
Round and round the mulberry bush.
Oh my God, how many times we've talked about that? But the Raiders, I feel like they've got a young wide receiver core. They got some good pieces on offense. I really like Josh Jacobs. I am a Derek Carr fan. I love his cadence. All right, Purple Walrus, Linda Go Fishing. Who the hell says that at the line? The problem with the Raiders is their division's just getting better. So I mean, that's a tough call. That's a tough call right there. I'll say, and it's a very big window, kind of like the Jets. They're a 6 to a 10/11 win team next year. Bo Jackson, if he wouldn't have had that injury, he would have been hands down the best running back. That man was the original beast. And let me just say, did you get that from Dave? Like, did you guys talk about this before?
We're about the same age though. So, unlike you, we actually seen him play. And we had him on Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not 76 years old and remember when fucking Otto Graham playing football. All right. Bo Jackson would have had a very, very good argument if he didn't get injured. I will say that. I love me some Bo Jackson highlights.
You
The
didn't
guy
even
that
know who Bo Jackson was until you met me.
Jesus Christ. This is true. Before I met him, what, 10 years ago? Like, yeah, I didn't know. Picture wherever the Chiefs are, then picture the Raiders 3 places down.
Fact.
Rob Davis with a prediction here. Chiefs 1, Raiders 2, Chargers 3, Broncos 4. I say Chiefs 1, Chargers 2, Raiders 3, Broncos 4. Unless the Broncos get Matt Stafford, then Broncos 1.
Thoughts on Bo Jackson? Well, without that injury, fuck yeah. He probably would have been the best ever. I don't even know if it would have been an argument.
Barry Sanders would have had a fucking argument. Fuck you.
But Bo Jackson was good enough to get fucking Marcus Allen benched. You don't know who Marcus Allen is either, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right, you shut that one up. We're not talking about 21-year-old Hawk here this time.
Oh, here we go. We're getting Bo Jackson highlights up in here. Hey, is this the one of them trucking Brian Bosworth at the line, or is this the injury? Which is it? Yeah, bud. Like, come on. The dude had it all. Speed, power. The problem is this highlight reel will be only about 30 seconds because that's about how long he was around.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, he just didn't have, like, the body of work. I don't know about the best ever. I think he would have at least been top 5 because, you know, the guy was great. His speed was phenomenal.
The crazy part is I wonder if he had the same injury today, if his career could have been saved. I mean, he did go on and play baseball. He stayed in baseball after this. So he just couldn't play football anymore. He couldn't take the hits.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing there. That's a really good question. You know, in today's NFL or today's medicine is definitely a lot more advanced now than it was then.
But outside of having these sweet Bo Jackson highlights to watch, let's see what else is going on here in the comments.
Anyway, the Pats can pull it off to get a top wide receiver, a tight end, and a Lance in the draft.
Sure.
I don't know. It's tough. That's another thing, you know, like picking like college athletes, like who's going to be the most productive or the most entertaining out of them, or just the most successful out of them, not entertaining. Funny that I said that. We're just diving into the WWE scripters that we always talk about. But you know, we'll see what ends up happening there. The Patriots obviously need a top wide receiver and a tight end, and they also need a quarterback. I think they could easily get 3 guys out there. You know, Kyle Rudolph, he's kind of unhappy. I know he had a statement that says he's worth that $9 million a year. You got Allen Robinson out there, you know, and then obviously the plethora of quarterbacks that are going to be out there. So, you know, the Patriots might not even need to draft anybody. They could probably get some veterans and get a win now team.
Oh, here we go. Oh, is that the one? Yep, that's when he just trucked over Brian Bosworth. That is the most overrated player of all time. Sorry he played for the Seahawks, but it's okay.
The problem with the Raiders this year was they focused only on trying to beat us, which they did once. But just because you can beat us don't mean you can beat anyone. NFL is about matchups. Couldn't have said it better myself. You know, and that's crazy that you said that because I felt like going into the playoffs, Seattle pulled its worst matchup in there. You know, Aaron Donald and kind of sucks. You know, and Jalen Ramsey's been owning DK Metcalf his whole career so far. So, I mean, it was the worst matchup for the Seahawks to play against the Rams. Here's a good one. I'll let you go for this one. What's your greatest ever quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end selection?
Ooh. Like on a team at one time?
I think so.
John Elway, Ed McCaffrey, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp.
Fuck.
And another one. You want the other one?
Yeah.
Aikman, Irvin, Novacek, Smith.
What about Brady, Edelman, Gronkowski, and I believe it was Blunt.
Edelman's overrated.
One of the best in the playoffs, though.
Blunt, he wasn't nothing great.
No, but he did have 20 touchdowns on the goal line.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I have stats. I know. I'm just pulling that out of my ass, I guess.
It's that guy, bud.
I know. I'm waiting for John to be like, holy shit, yeah,
you're the stats
you
guy.
might have an argument there. You know, let's like you got two GOATs on that list, all right? Don't you think Gronkowski and Brady being the GOATs of their position has an argument in that?
Well, it was all four positions together. I don't think Edelman's even close to a GOAT. I think Irvin's way better than he was. I think McCaffrey, if you want to argue that, I think McCaffrey
What about
may have been a little less than, at least him and Edelman are probably on the same level.
What about Manning, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and Dallas Clark?
Yeah, I couldn't remember Dallas Clark's name.
Fucking love Dallas Clark. He was such
How many rings did they win?
We're gonna go 2 and 1.
We're gonna go to the ring argument.
I love that.
2 and 1. Peyton only won 1 as a Colt, so it was 1.
Yeah, they went to 2 and they got 1 ring.
Okay.
Edgerrin James wasn't on the team when they won the rings, though, so they got none.
So
Joseph Dye was the running back for the Colts when they won a Super Bowl.
So again,
there we go. The ring debate.
If we're gonna bring the rings into it,
Trent Dilfer's a better quarterback than Dan Marino. Go suck on that one over there.
Okay, facts. But Aikman, Irvin, Emmett, and Novacek won 3 together.
Well, then Pats win with Brady alone. Bam, knock it out of the park, Johnny.
Well, I'm glad he took his services to Tampa Bay.
You know what, though? I'll tell you what. And if Kareem Hunt stays on the team, right, that would be I would have an argument. Kareem Hunt, Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill, that would be a fucking argument because I love Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt's amazing.
I think Edwards-Helaire is going to be something.
Yeah, it's still kind of early. Can't blame them for Mike Vanderjagt sucking ass at kicking.
Yeah, but Vanderjagt used to talk a lot of shit, too, for a kicker.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. All right, man. We're at almost 2:15. I'm ready to call this.
Yeah, I got to go tuck in the little fat man. But before we go, one more time. You see that scrolling down the bottom at the ticker? That's a website. You can go ahead and order some Girl Scout cookies off of the little mini fat man. She's selling them. You're going to help out the local troop. They ship them everywhere. So go ahead, click on that, order yourself some cookies.
Yeah, guys, I really appreciate all you guys coming in here and giving us some support, talking football with us. This is what we want to do. Share it with people if you want. Let's get more people in there. Let's get this thing growing.
One more thing. Sorry, Mama, for putting a dipper in, but I couldn't hold out anymore. It was about $1.45 when I popped her in. So that being said, my schedule is I have Monday and Tuesday off next week. So we'll probably get at you guys either Monday or Tuesday. We'll talk some Super Bowl. Just for Tony out there, we'll talk about how the Chiefs are going to lose to the Bucks.
Yeah, we're going to actively get together and try to figure out some type of schedule now that the Fat Man has a more solid schedule to base things around. We'll have something out there, hopefully in the next couple of days.
And then you know, coming into the off season, we're gonna figure out some more content. We might still get on here and do lives with you guys, talk, you know, just talk about some moves and shit, but we're talking about throwing some other things up there on the YouTube channel, some different videos and some looks back.
Yeah. But all right. This was the Stripsack Dualcast. I'm the Hawk.
And I'm the Fat Man.
See you guys next time.